Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. I just got back from the dentist.
Yeah. 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row. Espresso Dental on Greenwood Avenue. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
Aaron at the front is the best. Anka, who did my deep root scrub the last 2 days, is also equally as fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what a deep root scrub is?
No, I have no clue.
Well, they go into your gums behind your teeth and they clean it out.
That sounds... Wait, how?
With a big scrapers, they scrape.
Like where your gums meet your teeth?
Yeah, inside, past that up and then they get this like water jet thing and then scoop it in there. And then they get this laser that they insert inside your gums to kill all the bacteria.
I don't like this. You can stop talking.
And
That's
I guess
disgusting.
I guess I had a lot of bacteria. It's been 20 years since.
How do you heal? How does that? Does the little gap between your gums and your teeth?
We'll find out.
Woo! Let's stick some beer up in there.
We have a special guest today. I've known this gentleman for a long time. He's been very instrumental in helping me succeed in our businesses. Let's introduce to the pod, Mr. Ray Franco.
Woo!
Ray Franco, everybody. Ray, a legend in his own time. Ray, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
There you go. The camera's right there. You can look at the YouTube, the 10s, the 12s. Oh, actually, we're not 10s, the 12s anymore.
Oh, well, hold on.
You're up there? Hundreds?
No, we're 9s of 11s now.
Oh, you pissed off Dan Hart?
Yeah, Dan Hart got pissed off because I said he got too drunk at Haverkosten in Germany, and he had to leave, and he said he was just tired.
That's okay.
So Dan says, I'm not listening anymore. But
Dan told us he didn't listen, so I didn't. He was a hidden 12 then.
They all listen.
Yeah, I know.
Except for Ray Franco.
I'm coming in cold.
Wow, you really just gaslighted his ass.
Ray Franco
That's
has
fucked up.
never listened to the pod, and yet he agreed to come on the pod. So that's your fair game now. It's open.
I like it. I'm ready.
Talking to your fucking mic, Ray
Gotta
Franco.
walk right into the fire.
Talk into
Yeah.
the fucking mic.
Sorry. Hi.
You do have a good radio voice, so we want everyone to hear that.
You forgot to say that this is episode 28.
This is episode 28. I'm sorry, I'm on Xanax.
I'm here to just keep you straight.
The Espresso
somehow.
Dental does give you Xanax if you have high anxiety before dentists.
Do they give you extra?
They give me it a lot. So I'm on Xanax and Novocaine,
Oof.
and
That sounds...
we're going to mix it up now because we're going to drink beers too, and I'm going to smoke a joint.
Wow.
Nice.
So today is over for Chris.
Okay, well, this is the Stein Club Podcast. As everyone knows by now, we'll be tapping into all aspects of the bar business, the good stuff, the bad stuff, all the things that make it fun, all the things that make it miserable, how we did what we did, and how we're doing what we're doing.
100%.
And that's why Ray Franco is a perfect guest, because he helped us do what we did.
How many times do you think we've
what
mentioned
we
Ray
did?
on the podcast that he hasn't
A
listened
fucking
to?
lot.
Like a lot. He comes up a lot. I saw you at Restaurant
I like
Depot
it.
recently and
Yeah.
told you about the time that we were recording, and he told the story about the bar flooding.
The flood.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The bar flooding, and Chris was just like,
Remember the
got there and
knock on the
stuck-
door? I'm like, oh my God, Ray, who'd you kill? What'd you do?
Oh, man.
I thought you did something bad. And I had to
Chris comes
aid in abet a criminal.
Chris comes to the door in a brand new pair of Birkenstocks, white socks. I'm like, not those shoes.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
In the meantime,
I never wear socks with Birks.
6 inches
you
of
did
water
then.
in prose. Poor Tausha was crying.
Tausha, that's who it was.
Bucketing up.
Tausha.
My God, she cried me. She called me in tears, and luckily I was up watching some show, Heroes, trying to catch up. 'cause
Oh,
my girlfriend
Heroes.
loved that show, and it was like 1:30, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming, and like the water was on the street. I mean, it was running under the it was incredible.
Never thought about putting your finger in the pipe.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to
Learn by doing.
learn by doing.
Remember the magic Sharpie with the, I'm like, give me some more
Right.
electrical
That's
tape,
right.
and we jammed that fucker in there. Learn by doing. That
Oh
was
my
our last
God.
episode, Ray, episode 27, Learn by Doing, that you'll have to
Excellent.
catch up and
Yeah.
listen to. because you haven't listened to any of them yet.
Yeah, well, he'll get there.
All right, well, here's the best time of the podcast where we get to open our beers. Ray already preemptively opened his beer, so you can't get the. Oh yeah. But, I'll give
The Ray sound effect.
I'll give Ray one opening.
Prost.
Cheers. And Prost.
Yeah, those are little adorable Bitburgers again.
Delicious.
If I dribble, let me know because I can't feel this side of my face.
Oh, that's.
Is it sagging at all? Like I have a stroke?
I think it'll make good television if I don't tell you. So sorry. So last episode 27. I'm just gonna take the fall. I forgot to plug the audio cable into the camera.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
So we sat here and recorded an entire episode. The audio recorded, so that's out, but the video didn't record. The video did, but there was no audio.
But you made a beautiful montage.
Yeah, it was like a slideshow of our trip
I
because
wish
the
I'd
episode was
seen
about the
it.
trip. But I want everybody to know that I plugged in the audio this time. That's why you're able to watch this. So that's great. Also,
Through the
now people
smoke,
can actually
through the
see
smoke.
the little Bitburgers because last time
Oh yeah, see
We
how
showed
cute
them
there?
off
Look
and
how
nobody
big my
saw
hand,
them.
how big my hand looks.
you super hotbox this place.
Just now.
I've never seen one of your joints do this before.
This is Finny Kush. It's
Great.
okay. It's gonna be fine.
Ray?
We're going to talk about hotboxing in a little bit.
Yeah.
Part of my career.
Oh
Oh,
God.
very
Okay.
important.
Yes,
Important milestone?
Formative part of my early career.
Well, what's the word of the day? So we
Okay.
always have a German word of the day.
Excellent.
The because Ray is one of the most experienced bar peoples
Uh-oh.
that I know.
He's high.
So the German word of the day today is Erfahrung.
Erfahrung.
Erfahrung. It means experience.
Okay.
Excellent.
Because
That's
Ray
a good one.
Ray has a lot of Erfahrung
Erfahrung.
in the restaurant and bar industry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We always have to drink to the word of the day. Right?
Yep. Good old morning beers.
It's
This,
Yep,
I mean, this is
10:50.
like the normal time we record.
Hold on.
It's beer 30.
I got a treat. The dentist.
Oh, that's
the dentist gives you cookies after your visit. So I got a cookie for all my
Oh,
people
my
here.
gosh.
There you go. So they're Otis Spunkmeyer fresh baked ooey gooey cookie. So we're gonna eat these. Well, this is good radio here. We're eating cookies.
Oh my God. I'm having one tiny bite.
Mm.
I ate a huge fucking breakfast burrito right before we went on.
I did the same thing.
Really?
PCC.
I went to Rachel's Bagels and Burritos.
They're not that good.
What? They taste like delicious fake cookies. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. Okay. So let's get in some history here, Ray. Let's do this. Let's talk about this. If you remember, in the year of 2002,
Yep.
you were 40. No?
I was 30, 32, 36.
36.
38.
I was 28,
Yes, I
and I
just turned
decided
28. That's
and
right.
I decided to open my own bar. Remember,
Yep.
bar called Prost.
That's right.
And you were at that time working at the old 74th Street Ale House,
That is correct.
slinging the same Reuben sandwiches they sell today,
Indeed, and the chicken
and the
sandwich.
same gumbo.
I love that chicken.
Everything is just so good.
and the
Same goat
and the
cheese
same,
salad.
and,
Yeah.
and the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
So good.
so Ray worked at the ale house, and I opened Prost. And what was the first? When did you and Ryan say, "Let's go check this bar out"?
Well, we were anticipating for the whole time you were fixing it up, so we were excited about that. And Ryan and Rick Thamert and I walked in at open the day you opened up,
Oh, yes,
September
right.
5th, 2002.
September 5th.
Nice.
And Eli, your friend Eli, was there.
Yep,
And
yep.
Amanda, the two of them were already had a beer. You know that was weird, drinking beer before you're open. I'm not sure. You know. So
You're like, wow, this guy knows
was
what
it.
he's doing.
we were the first 3 official people to walk in the bar.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
It was-
Amanda had the first $5 bill.
Yep, that's framed
still
up in the
framed
bar.
at the bar.
Yep.
First person to pay for a drink. So the first one was probably free before we were open.
Very cool.
Real legal. Everything. about
Okay, so let's set
$5.
Let's set the scene. I got the 28-year-old punk ass bartender behind the bar smoking a cigarette,
So,
probably.
yep. And that brass lighter, I can see it
Yep,
clear as
yep.
day. Yep.
What was your
And a
first?
beer. You had a beer too, by the way. I'm pretty sure. The early days, yeah.
In the early days.
I don't remember the last time every time he's behind the bar, he has a beer. I mean, no, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
Well, he's never behind the bar, so that's a trick question.
Trick question.
Or tricks.
So what was when you walked through that little door at 7311 Greenwood Avenue North, what was your first impression?
Cool. Funky. I mean, something different. German beer. Seattle at that time, there was really no German beer. I mean, when I worked at FX McCrory's, we had Polaner and stuff like that, but it was just a very short list of euros, for sure.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the decor?
Well, for the start,
describe the bar when you walked in, because I've done it before. But let's hear when you walked in. You're like, okay.
I think you did the best you could. Yeah. With the Kismet carpeting, it had that cool kind of like crazy curve. It was like purple and purple, like purple and light purple, I think.
Yep.
And of course, Kismet, right? And that was it. A little stage up there and darts.
Yeah, put the dartboard up. That's right.
2 tiny little TVs.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of 13-inchers.
Yep.
That fit in the bar.
They were.
Well, you did the best that you could. You put the lipstick on the,
the pink Formica bar top.
Yeah.
We did a whole episode on the hidden costs of bars and how much you pretty much laid out how much money you put down on opening that place.
$10,000. I had $6,000.
Yeah, and to literally buy things and do any sort of fixing up.
Not a bad budget.
No, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
There's no way you could open anything with that. Right. Not even close.
Not even close.
No.
So after Ray's shift and Ryan's shift, they would come over and sit at my bar, and I'll to this day, those were the most cherishable days, because I had no idea what I was doing,
right,
and to be graced with your presence. Ryan, not so much, because Ryan's kind of a fuck up.
Right.
He was on the pod. He's pretty funny on the pod.
We had a good time with
yeah.
Ryan.
He's just playing.
Maybe we should have invited him to this one.
We should do
we'll do one.
We should do a Ray Ryan. Yeah, a Ray Ryan 4-way.
I've got some good stories.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you come in, you ask for a beer. You probably asked for a Bitburger, I'm assuming, or
I think I was drinking Polaner Pills in the beginning. I'm pretty
right.
sure. Yeah, for sure. Or Spaten.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was probably Spaten.
Yeah.
Probably
Spaten
Spaten.
Pills. Yeah.
So I pour you this beer, beautiful pour probably,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
hand you the beers, and then you take your first sip of that German beer in this little German bar.
Yeah, crisp. Yeah, I mean, I love a good German Pils. There's nothing quite like it. Yeah, and I got into it.
Yeah.
Later on, I started drinking the Weiss beer, though. I fell in love with Hockershore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. Oh, God.
We haven't had that one on in a while at my bar.
So you came the first day. What was your critiquing of my bartending skills?
I don't think I had so much of the critiquing as much as I knew immediately that there was going to be a mentorship involved here, and which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And
he knew how to pour a good beer.
It was easy to talk to you about that stuff, and you wanted to lend your ear to me. There's no question about that.
Yep.
And then as time went on, I mean, I helped with I changed kegs, just after you hired Angela, things like that. But it fell in, I've always said I was with you for 12 years and not for 10. Because I really started on September 5, 2002.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I'm proud of that. I mean, I was very happy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very happy that you would do that, because I knew nothing, as we as the 10s of 9s of 11s now know.
11s.
I had no fucking clue what I was doing.
Right. I mean,
And with a few mentors like Ray and John Dunlap and eventually Tommy,
sure. Yeah.
really helped me. And Angela, holy shit,
Oh, of
she
course.
taught me a fucking thing or two.
Yeah. With Angela, I gave you your first. You asked me, how do I trust her?
Yeah.
And I said, well, the next day I brought you a spindle and a stapler.
That's right.
And I said, you have your guest checkbook and you've
Yep.
got your cash register.
Yep.
Every time she finishes a transaction, make her staple together and pop it on the spindle.
That's right.
And then you can audit it the next day, and you can just, in your own mind, be aware that she charged everybody for everything. And,
Right.
Because we were doing paper receipts.
Yeah, that was the first accounting system, first auditing system.
Yeah.
Do you remember that I tried to do the things on the coasters? The marks on the
Yes.
coasters?
Yes.
Oh, like how they do in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think after a couple days, Ray's like, you can't do this, man.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
People don't understand this.
What's funny about that, though, is later on I took it to, I would hang out at the Red Door on Sundays, and our good friend Nate Hamilton was this brilliant bartender, and he would forget how many beers you would drink. And so I would notch my
Yeah.
poster.
For him?
To make sure.
For
Yes,
him,
for him.
to verify.
Well, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it probably helped you
I
too.
wanted to
You could be like, well,
pay
this is
for what
number
I
4
drank.
or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, all those things. Yeah. for
Yeah.
sure.
That's really funny.
So not only did Ray become a good regular, they would come every day.
Oh, we were competing.
Every day.
Stein Club
yeah.
was a real thing.
And
Yeah.
I introduced him to the Stein Club, and Ray's like, I got to be the first one on that wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember this story.
And you competed hard with our good friend German Greg Schneuer, who was on the
Yep.
pod.
Yep.
That's right.
We talked about it with Greg, and he gave us his version of the end of punch card number 4.
Okay.
What's
Or
your
that was number 3.
number 3?
Wall.
Number 3.
Sorry, what was your recollection of that
I don't-
process?
You know, most of my recollection is I would sneak in there late, like late at night, because I had the luxury of living very nearby.
Yeah,
And I was still pretty much a late night person at that time, of course. And I'd have like 2 half-liters. But I was always just getting up there because I'd show up with happy hour with everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you'd sneak back in
double
for a
dip, for
couple.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's times when Rick Thamer would come in, like he knew what I was doing. And so he would come in.
Yeah.
And like I remember being sitting there one time talking to somebody over here on my left, and a liter mug waves.
Oh, like
waves in front of my face, and it's goddamn Rick Thamer.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. So like that was.
That's right, because Rick was in the competition too. He
Oh,
was right
yeah.
there. He was
Absolutely
into
right
it.
there.
yeah. What number was he then?
Yeah.
I think he's 4th on the wall. I
Yeah,
think.
he's really high up. I just
Yeah.
can't remember.
I just chatted with him last night.
Oh, nice.
How's your Rick doing?
Oh boy, they're doing good.
Yeah.
They are empty nesters now.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is amazing because Amy worked her. I remember when Hazel was born the night before. Amy worked her shift, and Rick and I were at Prost.
Wow.
She comes over and she's like, yeah, it's happening.
Oh, Jesus.
And she goes home.
Yeah, because she worked at the Ale House.
Yeah, and then
She was one of the servers there that really didn't give a fuck about me
right.
when you come in and they don't know who you are.
Yeah, Amy.
That was the MO of that place. Very unfriendly staff if they don't know you.
There's a ton of
Yeah.
places that's their MO.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember Browers used to be that way too.
No, you're totally. When I started working there, I changed a lot of things because I was a regular too, so I knew the rhythm. And we can talk about that eventually, but
Yeah. We will talk about that.
yeah.
Okay, so Greg's version of it was, of course, he got sick. Remember, he got sick
Oh, yeah.
right towards the finish.
Right.
You were on the last row of your number 3 Stein Club card,
Yeah.
and he got sick. And he uses that as his excuse for losing.
Yeah. Well, he just didn't play as hard.
Didn't play as hard. So Ray Franco's plaque is number 1 on the wall.
That's right.
Yes.
And it still sits there. And of course, you know what your quote is, right?
Yeah. It's what is it? It's winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I can't remember.
Something like that. It's winning isn't everything, but wanting to is.
Okay, there we
And
go. Yeah.
I chose that quote fittingly for Ray Franco because he wanted
I
to
wanted
win.
to win.
And that was almost more important than winning.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
That's right.
He had a lot of Erfrong.
What is it? Erfahrung. He had a lot of Erfahrung. Thank you. Thank you. That was my background. Okay. All right. So let's dive into your history because you didn't just start at the Ale House and you didn't start with me at Stube. You had a past. Let's hear about what was your first restaurant job and how old were you?
My first restaurant job, I was 17. Just graduated high school, and a friend of mine was a hostess at the Red Robin in downtown Seattle.
Red Robin.
Wow.
Red Robin.
And I
God,
bussed-
Red Robin's.
Yeah, I
That's
bussed tables
We've
there.
talked about this.
Oh.
Red Robin is the key to restaurant service.
Absolutely. Great training.
Yep.
I mean, very effective. Even in its early days when it was locally owned,
Yeah.
There's only 3 stores. He did a very good job, and it was really cool there.
Yeah.
I worked there for 6 months, and before I left for South Carolina for school, and it was cool. I mean, when you're 17 years old, or I just turned 18, and you get a free burger and all the soda pop you can drink,
Yeah.
life is good,
Yeah.
really good.
That's what fucked up my teeth is High Five Pizza. All the free soda you can drink.
There we go.
Oh, when you worked there? You were a dishwasher? What'd you do?
I started dishwashing, moved up to the pizza line,
Ew.
finally got to the oven.
Throwing some Zaz.
But I drank about 5,000 gallons of soda
Oof.
that rotted my teeth out.
As you do.
Yep.
Hence the deep root scrub.
I spilled my one and only beer on a patron at the Red Robin. The server asked me to serve this like little schooner, the little tiny ones that have no balance. They were really tippy.
Oh, yeah.
I had never really carried a tray before. Of
Yeah.
course, I leaned over, spilled it on the guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but luckily he was a hotel guest, Pacific Hotel, I believe it was called, and he went upstairs and changed his shirt. And, it was okay. He was
And you
cool.
probably saw the terror in your eyes.
I was absolutely shocked, and I was.
Did everyone clap?
No.
Don't do that,
No.
people.
There was only a couple people. I think it was a two-top.
When someone breaks a glass at a bar or breaks a dish,
And they...
Right.
do not clap. Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah.
We know we fucked up.
Right.
I had a very similar situation happen to me. The first time, my first job, I was a food runner at Cactus at Madison Park.
I love that place.
And where you run the food, the first booth right when you walk out, which I think it might be slightly different now, was table 1. And I was running a cast iron of fajitas.
Oh, sizzling hot.
Sizzling hot fajitas, and it requires a strength that my hand didn't have.
Yes.
And I got around the corner, which is like not even 10 feet away from the pass, dropped it all over table 1. Luckily, it landed on the table and not on somebody.
People.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even their fucking food.
Oh.
It was literally another table's food, but my arm just gave out.
And people clapped.
And they did.
Yeah, people clapped. They
I'm
fucking
sure there
do
was-
it. Don't clap. Don't clap.
Yeah.
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 Cher, you clap, don't you? I know you do.
That's our fake producer.
No, she's right there. You can see her. She's in the back. She's
You're right.
just-
Chris is hallucinating
just-
again.
Yeah. Is her name Inga?
no, it's not Inga. Cher.
Her name's Cher.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
All right, then you went to school. You went to the University of South Carolina. Go
Yeah.
Gamecocks. Go
Gamecocks,
Cox.
Yeah.
I should have had the fight song ready, but I don't. Sorry.
I don't even know what the fight song is, but that's okay. Honestly, I've always given credit to my career to working in my uncle's pawn shop because the give and take there is very similar. You walk in, it looks like a bar from the outside. There's a long counter. You're engaging with people. There's a lot of diplomacy that goes along with it. The one thing about a pawn shop is the first thing you realize that every man is king. And respect is what you are. You treat people with respect there.
Right.
Because they ask for it and they walk in, they're pawning their stereo system for $15.
Right.
So, I mean, it was just a cool environment. I really dug it, and I really loved engaging with people. And my other job, I scooped ice cream at Rossini's Ice Cream.
There you go.
That'll get your wrist ready for some cast iron skillets.
Yeah.
Sonia wants a scoop ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's quite a few people that did that at a young age that I know that are
man.
still in the industry.
All girls.
Yeah.
All girls all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Scooper is a very popular guy.
Yeah.
You have artist hands.
Oh, do I?
Not anymore. Not after 40 years in the restaurant.
You have arthritis,
Yes,
for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, then what was your first Seattle service job?
It wasn't
After-
a first job. I worked as a purchasing clerk for the Space Needle restaurant.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a good opportunity. I came home and helped my cousin Michael, who formerly owned your buildings, the buildings across the street where, and he owned the biggest wholesaler distributorship of imprintable T-shirts and sweats, and I came home to help him set up the SKU and picking system for his new building that he built in Soto. And after that, my mom had a friend at the Space Needle purchasing office, and I got a job as a purchasing clerk. And I was the lead clerk. It falls right into the whole same system. It's like,
Right.
management of all the dry goods, the meat, and things
Yep.
like that. And so my job was as lead clerk. I opened the door at 5:45 in the morning. All the requisitions from the chef the night before were there waiting for me. I filled all the recs and brought everything up. Everything that went upstairs, I brought upstairs. So I rode the service elevator the entire day. Super
All the way up
cool
the Space
job.
Needle?
All day long.
I
That's all
couldn't do
did.
that.
Wow.
That's not a job.
It was a little, at first it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, you're in this nut.
Tiny
thing.
little, yeah.
And you're exposed to the element. Everything's exposed, right? So, but it was cool because I could see. I lived in the Stratford on 4th. I could see my building. We looked, you look down toward the stadiums, and it was in Mount Rainier. It was incredible.
Not a bad office.
It was really cool. It was the most drug-addled experience. I've never seen people do drugs like that on the job ever.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, it was.
So everyone's fucking high.
Everyone's high. As far as I knew, all the server staff were all coke fiends. And,
Yeah.
the kitchen guys. So they had it was really essentially a restaurant back there,
Right.
With the observation deck as well, and all the cooks kept pipes in their reach-ins. As you can imagine, everything's round. So the hood fan went all the way around this double kitchen.
Yeah.
One was the fine dining side. One was And this guy Zoli, he was the broiler chef on the fine dining side, and he okay, buddy. He put his, come on, you gotta get down in there, get your head in there, get in there. And he stick my head in his reach in. I'd have to take a hit. He goes, wait for the flash, wait for the flash. He flashed his thing, saute pan, and I'd blow smoke up into the hood.
Oh my God. that's
Yeah.
funny. Had to time it just right.
See, the kitchen
Yeah.
guys. The kitchen guys know how it's going.
And it wasn't
It's
just
true.
the kitchen guys; it was the maintenance crew too. The guys who string the lights and put the harnesses on and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Oh,
So
great,
if you
great.
can imagine, so
Safety third.
yes, the maintenance deck was the very top floor.
Oh my
So
God.
the ceiling of the maintenance deck was basically the roof line of the space station. So
Right.
imagine I-beams running down, so it goes from ceiling down to the floor.
Right.
And so the I-beams, they hid their pipes in their stash.
Oh
They
my
would- yeah,
Oh my God.
we would go up to the roof of the top of the Space Needle, and under the needle itself is like this hexagon-shaped box with a electrical panel in it. And so we would hotbox that thing.
Oh my god!
and then we would go out.
On the top of the
Oh
space
my
needle.
God.
Yes, I have,
Fucking rad.
I have stood on the edge of the Space Needle on the very
Wow.
southern edge into the wind.
Oh my god!
High as,
I never knew
high
that.
as a kite.
Yeah, it is an incredible, exhilarating experience.
That's fucking
Very
rad.
cool.
Do you think there's still drug paraphernalia hidden up there?
Oh yeah.
Perhaps.
It's like the pigs in the
yeah, when we were in
monastery.
Germany. Yeah, they
I'm
had these
guessing
little pigs.
that the maintenance guys test. I mean,
I'm sure they better now.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Space Needle. We're not outing you.
Oh my God.
They're really
that's
protective
funny.
about their
Yeah.
about their things.
I did that for about a year.
Okay,
And I
let's
got-
get to your restaurant.
Yeah.
Fuck
So-
this.
Wait, before that, we got to change the video. We're getting close.
Oh,
Okay.
I know we're flying. We're flying through. There's a lot to talk about.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do this and have a little interlude, Ray. This is where we do a little interlude. We can talk amongst ourselves. We can drink beer. This will be on the audio, but not on the video.
Excellent.
Yeah, tens to 12s. That's what we need. That's what the Novocaine is wearing off.
That's good.
I guess when the pain starts to begin again.
I know it well.
All right, let's get back to your first server position, like full on.
So, after about a year of watching these people count their money in the elevator at the Space Needle, I decided I want to start waiting tables. So, I had a little bit of an in at the FX McCrory's.
That's right.
Guys, FX, they had 3 of the hottest restaurants in town, FX McCrory's, Jake O'Shaughnessy's, and Lesha.
Old Mick McHugh.
Old Mick McHugh. So, I didn't tell Mick or Tim, his former partner, that I was going to apply for a job. I didn't even talk to my dad about it. My dad has been their CPA since they were in college. And so I went to the front desk and I filled out.
How's Al doing, by the way?
He's doing really good.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
he 892?
He'll be 90 this year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, tell old Al I said hello.
Did a bunch of tax returns. He won't stop working. My mom will divorce him. So, I mean, it's like, yeah. So I went to FX McCrory's and I filled out the paperwork and the person who ran the front desk took all the applications and she recognized the name. She's like, "Are you related to Al Franco?" Yeah. She wrote Yega on the top of the application, which meant your enjoyment guaranteed always. So these guys were hyper pros, man. Like this is like effectively one of the best experiences I've ever had in training and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. So I go to Leshai the next day and they put me on the floor.
Cool.
I had no experience, so I bussed tables for a couple months. But my rise was pretty fast. And so you had to pass a test to get on the floor to start waiting tables. And it was all about beer and the food and
The Crummer. I know about the Leshai Crummer.
the uniform was the Krummer. You had a Warsteiner bottle opener.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty cool. And, all that kind of stuff. Wine key. But passing the test, I mean, I studied. Like, they gave you all the tools to get really good. And I studied, and I nailed it. I know I nailed that test. And the guy who ran the front desk at that time, he just looked at me. He took it, he put it in the garbage can.
oh,
I know.
Really?
Well, because they already knew. I was already,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went down, I trained like the next day with Bruce Springer. Now, Bruce Springer opened up the Park Pub
Right.
in 1991, which is a legendary beer bar.
Was.
He was, yes. He was the first, he didn't care if the kegs were conditioned for nitro, he just poured it. You might wait 5 minutes for your beer, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
Changed the texture. So he was very serious with me and very challenging. But he said something very profound to me that first day that I carried with me. I took it all the way to your places. And he said to me, he goes, I'm giving you a 5-table restaurant today. What are you going to do with it?
Right.
And I said, I'm going to fucking kill them all.
Yeah.
A reference to Metallica.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, I really did. And it was, I really loved it. I loved being serious. These were exclusive jobs back then. There weren't millions of bars.
Right.
So we made good money. And within the first 90 days, you're going to have an evaluation. So the company auditor comes in with his wife. They're going to order dinner, and you got to do the whole spiel, and you got to do the stuff.
Oh,
so,
boy.
yeah, I mean, you just don't know when it's going to come.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was living downtown, and I was friends with the manager of the John Fluvog store. We'd hang out all the time and drink beer and smoke weed back in the storage, And that was one of those days.
Oh, God.
And so I show up to work, and the front desk girl hands me a ticket, and she goes, "Congratulations, Ray Franco. This is now your audit,
Your
server evaluation."
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I grab a glass of water and I pour it on my shoes. I am not kidding you.
Wow.
And of course, like back then, less shy. Every table came. If they already didn't have a drink in their hand because the line was. I mean, the people got their first round called all the time. It was just a force of habit. It was just the goodwill we were creating because people would wait for an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in this particular case, it wasn't that busy, but the front desk would take the order for their drink, fire it in, and then it would be ready for you at the bar.
Right.
Pretty cool system. And so, of course, his wife orders a dry martini up. And I am shaking like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to pull this off.
Right.
But I got to the table and everything just slowed down. Like slowed down. And I handed her the drink, not a problem. And I did my spiel, and I got the highest server evaluation in the history
Whoa.
of the Chalet Cafe.
Fuck
and it's,
yeah.
at that time, 6+ years.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah, right?
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
So I got I got a really expensive bottle of wine I still have today. I'll probably open it on my dying day. And I got my choice of schedule.
Very cool.
Huge.
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
So I did, and it was great. And it was we had a great crew. I mean, we had a team we called the Deep Six guys. It was different back then. It was all men in the dining room.
Yeah.
All women in the bar, cocktail people, and mostly men behind the bar. Eventually, there were some women behind the bar, and eventually, it all kind of that just ended.
Changed. Yeah.
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 But the Deep Six, man, we were very competitive, and my good buddy Steve Fantello replaced Bruce, and Steve went on to have a great career with the Wild Ginger. He passed away a couple years ago. Great guy, great mentor, big brother of mine, and he would show all the numbers. So he would do a printout. He was a big statistical geek, analytics, and so every day, I mean, we would look at our reports. It's essentially kind of like what we do, it's a private P&L essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, very competitive. Who sold the most desserts? Who sold the most beer? That kind of stuff. So, we compete.
Yeah.
That particular crew went over 6 months without a CC letter, a complaint on it.
Wow.
Which was also a company record, which was very cool. We're very proud of that.
Yeah.
And it was, but, all those things, Leshai was considered the black sheep.
That's so
When
nuts.
you've got Jake O'Shaughnessy's the hottest bar
Yep.
restaurant in town, and FX McCory is the big house,
Yep.
Leshai is going to be the baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Now, do you see like that drive in those servers, right? Like one thing that just gets me these days is that drive isn't there anymore.
It's hard to find.
it's
the
well,
killer, the killer instinct.
I think a lot of it was maybe our youth, although there were older guys there, but this group came together.
Yeah.
So after 2 years, I went to FX McCory's, made that transition. And at FX, there were people, this is where I learned people will make money in spite of themselves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I went
right,
into FX
right.
way over-prepared. Prepared very differently than
Because they were just fucking busy. And
Oh,
people
these are
just-
guys that are just, even though they'd have an 8-top and they would do side salads for all of them, and even without the guest knowing they were paying for it.
Right.
They wouldn't ask.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I came in with a completely different perspective from Leshai. We were super follow the book, which makes
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Tools and rules, man. That was part of my thing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
Yeah.
I almost got fired my first week for doing my job.
I was just going to say, because you were too by the book? Jesus.
There was the first...
Easy, kid. Come on, let's go. Do it our way now.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So the
fall in line.
The first big event of my new career at FX was opening day. And everybody's that's all hands on deck.
Yep.
So all the domos are there, all the lead cooks, right? They're all in different positions, and the chef is doing something weird outside. He's like grilling dogs for people. And I've got 6 tops, 8 tops, that kind of stuff. I'm lifting my lids, checking out the food to make sure, that you get options for baked potato, onion rings, things like that. We were told to make sure not to go to the tables with the wrong food.
Right.
And they start yelling at me. They're like, "Hey, man, we don't lift lids here." I'm like, I'll stop lifting lids when you guys get it right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, oh, Franco, no faith, man, no faith. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
So I get called in the next day. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get fired my first fucking week.
Yeah.
And Rod Pearson was the general manager. He's a great guy. He unfortunately passed away too, just as he was getting successful with his restaurant. He was on that Jack Screw Alaskan Airlines flight that was coming home from Mexico.
Oh shit.
Yeah, with his whole family.
Oh fuck.
Tragic.
Wow.
Great guy. And so, big part of my career. So he sits down. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, what's going on? And I said, look, this is how we were trained at Le Charlotte Cafe. It's in the manual.
Right.
It's in there. And I said, I am the last line. I'm the free safety. I'm the last line of defense, and I'm not going out to my table with onion rings when they're supposed to have a baked potato. I'm not going to do that. We're going to fix it on the line. I'm not pulling the plate.
Right.
And he kind of kicks back. He goes, oh, wow, okay. He goes, you're right. Everyone's going to do that now.
Right on.
Yeah.
See?
And then...
And you pissed everyone off. Good job.
Yeah. Well, then he...
Narc.
Fucking Franco.
Exactly. He left a month later and left me in the lurch. But before
sucks.
he left to do his own thing, he gave me my choice of schedule.
There you go.
He set me up. I said, I want Friday, Saturday night closing in the smoking section.
Right
Where
on.
all the money is.
Yep.
Yep.
And no, he gave me my schedule, and that was it.
That's
so,
awesome.
like, I was golden. Yeah, I mean, I was very well taken care of at Les Cheyenne and FX McCory's, but I was very...
Old Mick McHugh is a role model in this industry. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember FX they're not a part. He's not a part of that anymore.
Right.
But
It's been closed for quite some time.
yeah, but I think it was like opening day. Mick was probably 88 years old,
Yeah.
and he was at the back door
Yeah.
selling tall boys
Yeah.
for cash.
Yeah. That's what he... That's,
And it probably went right into his pocket. That's what Tommy Griffith would do. What would WWTD?
Right.
And Mick was also one of Tommy's mentors too.
That's right.
So it's like the chain of mentors in this industry
It's
is
kind of crazy.
necessary.
It's absolutely necessary.
If you do not have it,
Yes.
you're not going to succeed. And I've had a lot of people come to me who want me to mentor them, and I've tried my best. But some people don't listen.
That's the thing.
They don't listen.
You have to find a way, because FX is where I really started training people. And the one thing Rod said to me before he left was, I was working with all these guys in their 30s, and I was still a very young man, 24, 25. And he goes, hey, man, you got balls, Franco. You came in here and you made these people respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Because managers typically don't praise their people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I learned how to praise people.
Yeah. That's important.
And when I started training, I use a lot of athlete mentality in my training and preparation and things like that. So, getting people to buy in can be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to use all kinds of different language, and that's kind of where I came up with the independent free agent contractor thing.
Yeah.
Was during that experience.
That's right. And I use it. I've used it. And
Talk about that
and
a lot.
Yeah, Ray Franco is the one that taught me that lesson. Is everybody is their own boss.
Yeah.
We'll just provide. We'll set the stage for you to make as much money as you can,
Yeah.
and fucking crush it.
I've always said, here are the rules, here are the tools.
Yep.
Represent yourself first. Be the person you know that you are, and you will
Okay,
be
so
successful.
let's hold on to that for a
Hold on.
second, because let's fast forward to Beer Stuba, right?
Okay.
So you were regular at Prost. I told you my grand scheme of 3 bars in 3 years.
Right.
And you were like, "Oh, that's pretty aggressive,
Yeah.
right? Like, who the
Yeah.
fuck is this kid, right?"
Right.
And then I think this is how it went down. I mentioned that I found a spot,
Yeah.
and you were at the bar at the Ale House still, and we talked about the spot, what it was. I said a little bigger. It's gonna be another German bar, and it was only 2 miles away. And I think
Yeah.
you were like, "It's pretty close, dude." I remember that. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
why would they go to there and not come here? And I said, well, that's when there's an Irish bar in every fucking corner too.
Right.
So I said, I think we can make it a little bit different, but I need help.
Right.
And did you offer your services up? I
Yeah.
think you said, I think you need me to help you get to this next level.
I needed a job. That year, I opened up McGuire's for McMcHugh.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, I assisted the guys who were opening up the Belltown pub.
That's right. That's right.
So I did both of those. So we didn't just open, anyway. So yeah, I called you up and said, I need a job, man.
Yeah.
And so, that's what you said.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And so Ray agreed to manage the old Die Bierstube
Right.
on 6106 Roosevelt. Still open.
Right.
Go see Keith. He'd be happy to serve you great food now.
Yeah.
We have a
heard
big
that.
kitchen all of a sudden.
Good.
Which for some reason I did that. Don't know why. Anyway, you right away you jumped in and said, I got it. All the stuff that we need to get this bar started, I have it, so you can focus on building the bar.
Right.
And that was my first real build.
Yeah.
And it consumed all of my time. I knew that, Angela had the fort held down at the old Prost, and Ray started getting everything in line, interviewing people. I mean, everything, staffing, scheduling, right away, and hired some wonderful people.
Yep.
Do you remember your opening lineup?
Kind of. I can remember Lisa Foote.
Of course, I can remember Lisa Foote and that white skirt.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, she actually washed her hair for that interview.
Yeah.
And I love you, Lisa.
Yeah.
And thank goodness you brought me Anna.
Anna
She's
Haley.
been at my side for every adventure since
That's right. That's right.
21 years now. But I don't remember everybody.
Yeah.
We had one girl, her boyfriend was a real creeper. He'd sit there and just eyeball her the whole day. It was just, there was some interesting things. But within the first 6 months, we really had a good rhythm.
Yeah.
I've always said no one's really going to remember the opening lineup in the very
Right.
first 90 days.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's a blur.
It's going to change.
Yeah. It's going to change.
Yeah.
And Ray he taught me this style of service, the family style service,
That's right.
which we use to this day. Tell us about your version of what family style service is.
Well, I mean, I think initially, your vision was to have a well bartender and sections and things like that. Similar, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. I mean, we're just going to, it's only going to take a couple of us, and we're not going to have sections. We're going to share all of our tips, and we're going to just hump it.
everyone does everything.
Everyone does everyone's a cook, everyone's a dishwasher,
Everyone
everyone's a
checks
busser.
IDs, yeah.
I hate the pecking order. I hate everything about that. At this point in my career, I'm like, no attitudes, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody's equal.
Right.
It's absolutely imperative.
Yeah.
Share everything.
Yes.
Everyone touches every single table. I remember you told that.
Yes.
If you walk by a table, touch them.
Yep.
Grab empties. Ask how they're doing. I mean, Ray's style of service is unmatched. I think the way he makes every customer feel very, very, very important. And I still tell my staff to this day, it's one person at a time. And I think you taught me that too. It's like it's one customer at a time.
Yeah.
Even now, right? Ashley, we have.
Oh, yeah.
You see new people come in.
Yeah.
23 years we've been open, almost.
Yeah.
And if a new person comes in,
Yeah, and you've made it so easy because we have the Stein Club program at
Right.
the bar. So anybody could make a new regular.
Right.
Let's just say you got a little bit of a handicap to be able to do it instead of just trying to loop them in with your charm. You're like, oh yeah, but then you also get these flashy prizes.
yeah.
So keep coming.
So the stew became very popular, very fast.
Oh, very fast.
quick. And I remember we had a lot
Did
of
it pull any business from Prost? Sorry.
No.
We talked about that.
Well, number one thing that we did, we charged 25 cents more a beer
At the stew?
for the stew.
Oh, okay.
$4.75 for half liter.
That's right.
$4.50.
Oh my God. Ain't that cheap no more.
No.
Yeah.
Crickets.
But we got a lot of college kids.
We got a lot of college.
It was before Uber and before Lyft and before these college kids could venture out of the university area.
It was an election year as well, so we got the debates early.
Yeah.
That kind of dialed in some goodwill for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the college kids would come in with their parents' credit cards.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this one day. It was like a Friday night or something, and I was in there. It was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, who knows what. And the bar was fucking jammed.
Yeah.
Like
That's normal.
jammed.
Yeah.
and it was all these fucking college kids
Yeah.
with their fucking liters of beer,
Yeah.
Groups.
clinking and cheering and chanting.
It's incredible.
And I remember looking at Ray and I said, "This is a liability." And he said,
Just leave.
"We're making this is called making money, and why don't you just leave?
Anna was
Yeah.
the one who told you to leave.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
You don't need me there, you know." And that's one thing I've taken is like, people don't need me there.
Yeah.
You know, they need me to oversee everything and do what I do,
Yeah.
but you don't want me in your business, because I was getting in everyone's way and going and panicking
You had a little bit of anxiety. I told
a little bit.
A little bit.
I told the story about the 5th anniversary of Fire Up, and we were sitting in the very middle of the bar, and Christy was working that night, and you look at me and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, this doesn't bother you at all, does it? I go, "What are you talking about?" This, like, for me, that environment at that time in my life and career, that was my favorite drug.
Right. Oh, fuck
Being
yeah, it is.
in a busy bar, especially when you're help facilitate
Yeah.
what's going on, the service and what's going on.
It is kind of sick, I will admit, but
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
I love it. Everything slows down for me in that
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
I can start. I had this really weird skill. I could like go to Hattie's Hat. And I could tell them what their sales were.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how dialed in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was without
Yeah.
with everything in my peripheral instead
Yeah.
of just like
You were like the Rain
Wasn't
Man of bars.
kind of
Numbers.
Whoppers
like-
on a 3. Whoppers. If you-
3,642.
if you
You're
see
off by $5. How did you do that?
if you see me at the Ridge at 2:50, I always say Wapner's on at 3, and all the regulars of the Ridge know that means it's time for me to go to
Time
Prost.
for you to get to Prost for your daily meeting.
Nice.
But do you remember? There's one thing when you were managing the Beer Stuba and this movie, The Beer Fest, came out. Remember?
Right.
And I watched the debut of the whole thing, and I get out of the theater, and the first person I called was Mr. Ray Franco.
Yep.
I do recall this now.
And I said, "Ray, you know those boot things we have? We need to get more of those."
Yeah.
Because they made a big deal about
That is the last
dust
guy
boot.
showing out of a shoe. It's no shoe. It's dust boot.
Yeah, Das Boot and the Beer Fest kind of ruined us for a little bit, because the amount of boots that we poured after that was out of this world.
That was a little scary. That's when I accepted that this is a bit of a liability.
Yeah.
It was like, it got,
That was the
it,
point.
It got scary. I have a great picture of the original display in the center of the bar, the beer stube. Under the television was like 9 boots.
Yeah.
Like all different. It was very beautiful. We laid them
Different
out
breweries
Really
and-
nice. And it was really cool. And
We
That's cool.
we
Holy
stopped
crap.
all of that during COVID, because
Yeah, of
sharing a big boot of beer is not good for.
Pretty gross.
Yep.
yeah, I still don't know. I don't know.
Some of the
kinda
pubs,
got over
some of
it.
our pubs have
We brought
it
it back in Boise, and people love it.
Yeah.
And I think the Stube has
Stube
it.
has it back.
And we've
West is
we've
thinking
been
about it.
debating and bringing it back at the old Finney too.
Yeah, we
you know,
have.
because it is a fun ceremonial thing, and it's different. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It,
different.
it is cool. I mean, for sure.
Okay, so Beer Stube was a massive success, and I was really proud and really excited, because that was the one bar that catapulted me to open all the rest of the bars. As
Yep.
you know, it actually generated a lot of money, and we operated it very thin, and it was a wonderful, wonderful place, Ray.
Man, did we sell a lot of beer?
We sold a lot.
We were top 5 in Columbia, including the stadiums.
Yeah, it was cranking.
Kegs, moving kegs.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, we're getting back up there. The Stube had a lot of issues over the years. Lots of issues, ups and downs, as we know in this business. But now we're on an upswing, which is awesome. So hopefully Keith is going to maintain that, and we'll get back to those glory days.
Glory days.
Glory days.
Joke of the day.
Shit.
Oh no.
It's time. It's time for the joke of the day, Ray.
I love
And
it.
I got one
Bring
just
it
for
on me.
I got one just for you. I like a man walks into the bar jokes a lot. You know.
Okay, yeah.
So an old man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably
Great.
about 60, walks into
Oh, wow.
a
Burn.
bar, and he sees a sign. And the sign says cheese sandwich $1.50, chicken sandwich $2.50,
oh, this is cheap.
hand jobs $10.
Okay. Oh, steep.
I'll take
So old Ray Franco's checking his wallet for the cash, making sure he has enough money, and he beckons over this gorgeous blonde bartender, and he asks her, "Are you the one that gives the hand jobs?" And she says, "Why, yes, I am." To which he replies, "Well, go wash your damn hands. I want a cheese sandwich."
Joke of the day.
That is what I would say.
Yeah, probably. It was probably one hell of a cheese sandwich.
Oh,
yes.
boy, was it.
So, this is all about, neighborhood bars and the importance of neighborhood bars.
Oh.
And Ray Franco loved not only my bar, but another bar,
Yes.
Yes.
the Red Door.
I did love the Red Door.
Legendary.
The Red Door, Alpha was the owner of the Red Door, and then Pete became his partner. Pete running for city council, hopefully next time. He didn't quite win this year.
Right.
We need him in city council. So Pete Hanning for city council.
I'm with you.
Whether or not he's running.
Yeah, well, we're going to force him to run again because, damn it, I had to pay for my own drinks at his reveal party.
Oh, man.
Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
You open bar, Pete.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, he doesn't drink anymore, so.
Well, maybe he'll take that news to heart for his next one.
I'll tell you something, though. In the early days of the beer stube, Alpha Zinc played a pretty big role in our success by introducing me to all the beer people. And it helped.
Right. This is where I was getting at, right?
Yeah.
In addition to running beer stube, but very successfully, Ray also hung out at the Red Door all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Happy hour, yeah.
And it was a running joke, with my friends and Alpha mostly, because if I ever needed to ask Ray a question about work, I
just go to the Red-
I would go to the Red Door.
That's right.
Well, can't
And
find them.
At first, I'm like, come on, man. Shouldn't you be like doing something? You're like, I did it. It's all done.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Yeah, I showed up at work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean,
You thought
You
it was
know?
crazy, but
No, you got it done. Why does it matter?
yeah.
well, and I didn't care because I still don't care about what my manager's time situations are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can have as many days off like Ashley, who
Shut
goes
the
to
fuck up.
Orcas
I knew he
all
was
the
gonna do that.
time, as long as your job
Says
gets
the
done.
guy who makes it impossible to record a podcast because he's always out of town.
Be going to Maui on Monday.
Nice.
If we had the time, I would list the amount of times you've been out of town, and it's April.
I enjoy traveling.
It's more than 9
I've already reached MVP gold on Alaska Airlines.
in 4 months.
I enjoy traveling. Life's too short to be set.
That's okay. You're the owner.
I'm with you.
Okay, so what drew you to the Red Door? Because the original Red Door is on Old Fremont Avenue right there, and that's where you first started going.
Yeah.
But what drew you to the Red Door to make that your place?
Well, I had been friends with Pete for a few years. He worked at the Luau in Tangletown, and when they were reopening, I was pretty excited about it because he was going to turn it into kind of a nightclub, and he did. Like they didn't have any booze in the first one,
Yeah.
and it was a really popular place. I mean, it was fun. We'd show up at 11:30 at night on certain nights, late at night, and it was just a fun place to hang out. Good people. I made lifelong friends there.
Yeah.
There are people who work for me now that were on that staff before and things like that. Just good people.
But you would call it a neighborhood bar
Absolutely, yes.
because
Of course.
everyone knows everybody.
Oh yeah, and it was a communal place for beer people to be in the afternoon.
Right.
Alpha held court and guys just surrounded him.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
And
right.
he would I'd be on one end of the bar in the early days, and he'd go, Ray, get down here, sit next to me before anybody shows up. And I would sit
Sounds like
next to him.
crew.
And I'd sit next to him, and he would make sure that everybody knew who I was.
Yeah.
And he would say, "Oh, it's Ray Franco. He works for that goose stepping bar." Yeah. He
Alpha
just
always
had-
gave me shit too.
Yeah,
That's for
he
sure.
just had a wonderful way about him.
Yeah.
and-
Alpha
and-
Zinc is about a 7-foot tall
Yeah.
Lithuanian man
Yeah,
Oh,
who can crush about 15 Guinness in one sitting.
I'd hope
more
so.
like 25. But he was very. I mean, and I have lifelong friends in the beer industry because of that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it helped our community goodwill for the German pubs for sure. To be
Yeah.
Well, same way when I hung out at the Nick.
Yes.
Because the beer people, I remember Free Beer Friday.
Yep.
And all the beer reps would be there. That's when a lot of the Columbia beer reps really
Yeah.
cared.
Yeah, the
Now-
Nickerson was
now they don't
very.
care. But it was the same thing.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
That was my place to go where I can talk to the people I wanted to talk to or
Right.
wanted to talk to me while I'm enjoying a beverage.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so Beer Stube was running, and I said, Ray, it's time for number 3.
Oh yeah.
And we're running long, but this is fine because it's great to have Ray here, and I think our 10s and 12s would appreciate a couple more minutes of this because there's some still stuff to talk about.
Should I go change the video one more time? We're close. We're
Wow.
like 2 minutes. So let's go do it now. Let's rip
Let's do
that
it
Band-Aid
now.
off.
Okay, we're gonna do it now.
Do it.
We'll take about another 10, 12 minutes of everyone's time, and I think that'll be good enough.
It's time to talk about Fire Oven.
I got to meet Al, go shopping, so I'm assisting her with her job today. Job assistance.
Some people go to Maui a lot.
Yep.
So Ashley can only fit so much in one day.
Okay, whatever. So Fire Oven.
Yes.
Ray and I, it was the most, what do they call that? Oh, they call it Kismet, I think.
Funny.
We both watched, and we've talked about this before in the pod, so it's a kind of repeat, so sorry. But we both watched the same Como News special
Yes,
about
right.
South Lake Union.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, yes, we watched that. Yep.
And Ray calls me that next day, or I called you, because we were looking for number 3. And I said, Ray, I watched this thing on TV last night. And you're like, so did I. I said, what do you think about South Lake Union? He said, let's go fucking give it a shot. Let's go take a look.
Yeah, we found out. I watched the second one as well. It was a Focus on Neighborhoods. It was on Channel 9, and with Mike James, and that's where we found out about the South Lake Union Discovery Center.
Right.
Yep.
And so the Monday we were in that place.
Just goddamn right. Let's
Yeah.
jump on that
Yeah.
fucker.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the 2 beautiful ladies that greeted us. We talked about this before. We went in this movie room, and it was just us, and they
Yep.
showed us this model, and they pointed the little
Yep.
light thing, and everything lit up, and it was so fucking
It was
cool.
cool. Yeah.
And we walked out of that fucking little transportable office they had, and we looked at we said,
Yeah.
let's fucking do this, remember?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And,
But let's not rent from Paul Allen.
well, that was not intentional.
Right.
No.
That's just what
You know,
his
me and
face-
Paul, we go back.
Yeah, you
There
and
was
Paul.
New
Yeah.
construction.
New construction, and we
Yeah.
found a place, and we had to wine and dine the owner at the Stube because he
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to put something else in there,
This is a good one.
right? And he fucking loved it. Jeff from Seamark
Yeah.
Industries.
First, as I recall, he recognized me from Mercer Island. So he, when I was, he was probably 4 or 5 years older than me, and me and my buddies would hang out at this one country club, tennis club down the South End, and
As Mercer Island kids do.
Yeah.
as you do.
As you do.
And he recognized me for that, and so we chatted for a second. And I remember him looking around and it's like, I don't know, guys, I really want to put a Thai restaurant
Yep.
in my building. And I looked at Chris. Chris was like, uh-oh, like for sure, right? And I just looked at him deadpan. I said, the thing about your Thai restaurant, they're going to close at 10 o'clock. We're open until 2. We're going to have the lights on, and we're going to keep your building safe all night long.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah.
And it's true.
In a really tough neighborhood
yeah,
then.
it was
Yeah.
still...
Yeah, you drove through South Lake Union with your windows up and the doors locked.
Cascade was not that nice.
Yeah.
Nope.
And he goes, man, you're right. He said immediately, he said, you're right. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And he looks around, he goes, fuck, man. You guys have to step up your game.
A little bit.
That's what he said.
Yep. And we did. And
You
we
did.
did
You
because
did.
we had to hire real contractors, not Electric Dave that didn't get a permit for Stube or something that we had to replace like 5 times now. We actually had to hire real electricians, real plumbers, all certified and all that stuff. And I was just this little kid.
It was cool.
Remember I walked in my flip-flops and shorts one day, and Merle, the general contractor, was like, get the fuck out of
Right.
here. You need a hard hat and steel-toed boots.
What's the name for the Kneipa? How do you say it?
Kneipa?
Kneipa. How did you make that bar feel like a Kneipa in a brand new cement covered glass metal
Yeah.
feel? Because both Prost and Stube did not, even when you walked in and it was Kismet,
Right.
it didn't look like that.
Well, the build-out was key. We added
Open kitchen.
the brick,
Yeah, the open
Exhibition.
kitchen.
the brick back bar, I think,
Yeah, those
really,
columns that.
really softened the generic storefront.
Wasn't
of
it like
the
a
place.
father and son Russian?
Yes,
Yeah.
we
And
talked
the-
about
and the
this with
The
Ryan.
kid was like 14 during school. I'm like, this.
Oh,
I think he was Romanian, I think.
you got to listen to the Ryan episode if you're going to listen to anything, because that was
great,
pretty
yeah.
funny.
That's a good question, Ashley, because it's hard to make. I mean, you see a lot now. All these new buildings are opening up.
Yeah,
And these restaurants are going into the retail floor, and it all looks
Right.
the
Yeah.
fucking same.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you make it look different?
Yeah.
The brick was important. I did up my game with the tables were still the old Don Willis unfinished furniture.
No, I think that was the one that you said that. Oh no, they were the
I
Don
rebuilt
Willis.
them
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
So our game stepped up a little bit, but
Yeah.
it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And again, Ray took charge. He's like, I can do this. I can get you guys going, and he fucking started a wonderful restaurant.
Yeah, we had some good people for sure. It's funny because we had 3 people who all wanted to be the manager, and we kind of had an open,
Right.
let them go for it. And boy, one woman, I can't remember her name, she was kind of a hand wringer. The other guy was kind of a bitch asshole.
Yeah, we know.
you
Yeah,
know.
well, I wasn't gonna name his name, but
And,
yeah.
sorry. And Rick Thamert was doing it.
Yep.
And he was crushing it. And he was becoming the manager. And Amy got pregnant again, and he had to get insurance.
Yep.
So he went to go work for Chow Foods. So we lost him. And luckily that week, Christy
Oh yeah, crazy Christy.
sends me a text on my only freaking day off on a Saturday morning, like at 8:30 in the morning, that she left the pizzeria and she was looking for a thing, and we needed somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the best.
Yep.
And I called you like at 10 o'clock or so that morning. And he said, "Are you sure?" I'm like, she was an ex-girlfriend, but we were very close friends. We were very close. We stayed very
Banged
close.
her, so that's cool.
Yeah.
We stayed very
well,
close.
they got that out of the way.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So she came in and she put that.
Ray must be a good lover, because if you can still be friends with your ex,
Yeah.
Well,
good for you.
Well, it says a lot about.
relationships are important.
Yeah.
It's okay to break up amicably, and it's okay to
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she came in and she put that place on her back. I mean, literally. I mean, she did such a great job of building the goodwill. I mean, she had those REI guys in there buying
Yeah.
gift cards like daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all there was. There was REI. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then we had to deal with the whole growth, and it was an incredible run.
Yeah. Ashley will like this. I wanted to open it with kids. And Chris gave me
Oh, yeah.
you gave me my own speech. You gave me my own be a bar speech.
Oh my
so,
God.
He was so mad at me.
That's funny.
And I'm like, REI, I see a lot of strollers.
Yeah.
People don't bring kids in the bars, they bring babies.
And
Yeah.
I said, babies don't buy beer, right?
Exactly.
Babies don't buy beer.
Ain't that the
It's
truth?
okay. It's okay.
And I'm glad we didn't have kids because it turned into a big bar, and it was.
And it
fun.
was, and there were lots of good nightlife there, that's for sure.
And if you rent an apartment above a bar, do not complain about noise.
Right.
We had
You
that-
know there's a fucking bar.
We had a couple jackasses,
Ugh.
but whatever.
I was probably one of those people making noise.
So I think that was that the end of us after that? You helped with West Seattle
A little bit.
a little bit.
I helped I brought Cole in because at the time he's super pro.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to leave him alone. At
Yeah.
that time, I was ready for me to back off.
yeah.
You know.
So we had 10 great years
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
12.
I say 12. Yeah. It's really
12.
Because of those first 2 years.
first couple of years.
Yeah.
It's being to help. Keep an eye on things, Ray.
But I really want you to know that without you, I couldn't have done anything.
Well,
I mean, I could have probably done this podcast,
I mean,
but that's about it.
and honestly, without
That's
you,
about it.
That's it.
I mean, that was the most rewarding aspect of my career, and it changed. I was already a guy who's kind of known citywide through my time with Les Shy at FX McCrory's, and I had trained a lot of people.
Yeah.
We talked about mentorship earlier in this, and I did. There was a lot of people who went on to have really successful careers in the restaurant industry that I got my hands on when they were very young,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So yes, and at the time when we separated, I was absolutely flamed, burned.
Oh yeah.
Like I could not. The day to day, everything was too much.
We both knew
Yeah.
it was coming.
Oh yeah, I had my legs over the nest. I was, God, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I got to jump, but I can't jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's time to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair. And that
Yeah.
was like the best day ever because everything just washed away and we
Yeah.
had beer and I was
Yeah, it was fine.
fuck, it was
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thrilled.
Yeah.
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 All right, I want to hear now what Ray Franco is doing now, and then we have to wrap this thing up. So you're
Okay,
in
real
charge
quickly.
of something really important.
Yeah, I took a couple of years off. I had a couple different little opportunities, but I started working for Ryan Reeder. His family founded the Fremont Sunday Market.
Okay.
He had a gunslinger job for me for the last outdoor cinema in Fremont before they got kicked out of that space. And all he wanted me to do is crack open 16 cases of Fremont beer. And I had 2 volunteers from whatever nonprofit he was using at the time. I brought my own galvanized tub for the ice and bought ice. for
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
And at the end of it, the volunteers couldn't take tips, and there was about almost $500 in tips. And I handed him the wad of money. He goes, "How much is this?" I go, "That's about $4.80." He goes, "Okay." He wrapped it up, put a rubber band on it, handed it to me. He said, "Let's call this a golden egg." And that was it. And I started kind of doing gunslinger things for him, and of course brought Anna with me. You know,
Of course, yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing anything without her.
I know. Anna Haley, she's the best.
And then I took over for the guy who was, the guy who was kind of running his booze program. Yeah, he bought everything from Budweiser, and he had, it wasn't great.
Right.
And I said, we're going to change things. So I changed things for sure. And it became something very cool and very rewarding. I call it the prestige because it's the magic trick of, now we serve 3,000 people in 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
once the stress of it leading up and the pressure is a lot, but once it's over, it's amazing.
And this
Yeah.
is tell us where it's at.
So now, we've had a running series of night markets at Hangar 30 in Magnuson Park since we started in November of 2019. We had one in February of 2020, and then we got shut down for 410 days. And we didn't know if we were going to come back,
right.
honestly. And we came back in October of 21, and it just went, of course, people were just crazy for going
Yeah.
out. And it was gangbusters. I mean, the numbers are just, this is the very last event that I brought 9,000 drinks.
I was just going to ask you. I ran into you at Restaurant Depot,
Yes.
and you were asking me about liquor, and then you said something. You had like 12 cases of tequila in your car, or something nuts.
Oh,
it was like a lot.
I bring.
It was, so, and
it's-
you were making huge batches of margaritas.
Yeah, we went through, what did we go? I think I had 90 gallons of margarita.
Yeah, I know. You told me the number at the time. I was like, wait, that
Yeah.
can't be right.
I've got a great team of 10 people, and they always say yes. I bring everything. I load the van myself,
Yep.
kegs, everything. It's a lot. And
Especially
then
for an old
once
man.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the event is very physical for me. And then I unload everything on Saturday morning, go get the ice. They come in 4 hours before we open, and I never touch another thing. I don't bartend. I don't do any. I back them up. I'll get ice and do bar back stuff for them.
Right.
I'm not sitting. I can't bartend.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking exhausted.
Well, and you've done so much. Yeah.
Well, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
Like if I stood in there and somebody said, "Hey, I'll take one of those pilsners," I'll be like,
What? What's a Pilsner?
You want a bucket of ice?
"This
can do
literally
that.
would happen." I'd be like,
I don't know what you're saying.
even if I got them their drinks, I wouldn't even know what to charge them.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like me behind the bar now,
It's just,
too.
I
Same
mean, that's
thing.
just,
It is.
I'm living in the real world, man.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah. And if they need bathroom breaks, I just say, just step out of your well. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lines are pretty. I mean, it's quite a machine.
So the market has people selling shit.
Yeah, we fill the hangars filled with crafters and creators and finders, just like the.
Maybe I should do that with my X-Tool projects. My
yeah, you
my
could.
keychains
Yeah.
and such.
There you go.
That's my
Yeah.
retirement.
He's got like a laser.
I have an Etsy
Yeah.
store,
great
but
idea.
nothing's on it.
It's a lot of fun.
And what day is it? What day? What night?
Well,
Plug it.
we used to do 10 a year, and we've slowed it down to four a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which is great for me because that monthly pressure was really taking its toll on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Next one is in October.
Okay.
Cool.
Fun.
So I've got the summer off, and here's my retirement job. I'm a brand ambassador for the South Lake Union Farmers Market.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
Good for
Walk
you.
around in a tennis ball yellow vest.
Oh, I love that.
Get to be nice to tourists and show them where everything is.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's awesome.
And
Yeah.
also hang out at your new red door, which let's plug them real fast.
Oh, Triangle Spirits.
Triangle over in Fremont.
Yes.
We love the Triangle. The people are
That's right.
awesome.
Chicken and whiskey.
Yeah,
Go
great
get
chicken.
some.
Probably some of the best fried chicken I've had in a
Yeah,
long
it's
time.
Good happy hour deals too.
Best whiskey
food.
bar in town.
Yeah,
People
so
do. It is a spot people come
yeah, good,
to drink whiskey there
good.
from out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, more people should go to the Triangle if you're in the Fremont area because it's fantastic.
sure is. That's
Yes.
Ended on a plug.
Great people.
See,
I love it.
I love it too.
I
Make
love
sure
it.
we
This has been great.
We
We're
gotta
gonna
tag
tag
the
everything.
Triangle,
Yes.
and all that stuff
like
on,
it.
on the grams.
Yep.
Yep.
So Ray, thank you again, not
Thank you,
just for
guys.
coming to this podcast, but for really being a true mentor
No,
to
thank
me.
Yeah.
And I know I taught you a few things along the way.
Damn
too.
right.
And that's also nice,
It just,
right?
it
When your
was-
disciple can teach you a few things.
Yes.
absolutely, it was the perfect arc of my career was working at those places, man. It was cool.
Fuck yeah. I appreciate
loved
that.
it.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Ray Franco, thank you. Ashley, thank you. I'm going to go meet Al, the beer guy, to make sure our Bitburger comes in.
Yep.
But that's a wrap.
Yeah.